Hello and welcome back to 30 Days of Qoom with me, Rishi. So, today we're going to be working on the CSS styling to make these modals invisible, and next time we'll be working on making them visible once you tap on them, or once you hit each of the respective buttons here. So if I hit this, I only want this to pop up in the middle of the screen and then go away after it's done. Right, let's hop right into it. I've already pre-written out all the code, so that we can save a little bit of time here, and not waste too much time. Yeah. So the first thing you want to do is put in each of these. So for each modal, we want to first give it a margin and a padding. So if you reload the page now, they're all margined so that they are 100 pixels above below the others. So this distance right here is 100 pixels all the way down. Text line left, that's pretty simple. All it does is align the text to the left. Position fixed will make sure that the position of the box never moves. So if I remove this here, reload the page. As you can see, this follows me around wherever I go. Right? Display none. So this is very important one, but we'll do this last. Z index 100. This is meaning the Z index is how far in front or behind in the page you want it to be. So 100 means put it all the way up, as much up as you possibly can. This next couple are saying where on the screen do you want it to be. So you can imagine left is this side of the screen, right is this side of the screen, and top is this part of the screen. So you want to put it right here in the center, as it says in justify content. So right here in the center. And margin off the top is 0. This line is relevant because we already have it at the very beginning. So do this. And yeah, then you want to make sure that you give it 100% width, 100% height, and overflow auto. Overflow is like if the text goes too far out, what do you want to do with it? What I want to do is I want to cut it off and put it underneath. So this is auto, like so. And now you can see that it has centered this into the front. And it is aligned every single one onto it. So it has a bunch of headers with a bunch of lorem ipsums over here. And now I want to have the background color to an RGBA of 000 0.4. You can comment this one out if you want to. And this will make the entire screen essentially black. And if you uncomment this, yeah, that's fine for now. And font size 30 pixels. Just makes it a little bit bigger for this side of it to read, or a little bit smaller. Yeah. Modal UL and OL, meaning my lists, how big do I want them to be, and I want them to be pretty big. So sorry, the margin is like how far apart from each side. So 0 means I want no distance between everything. So 100% width and 100% height, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to actually decrease this value here, 0.1. Should make it like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And give it a little bit less, a little bit more. You want to play around again, this is one of the things that you want to play around with. Figure out what looks best for you. 0.2 looks really bright, so again, keep messing around with it. Figure out what you like. So I like 0.2, 0.3ish. And because of Z-index 100, it'll put the last header up to the front. Yes. Modal list element. We don't want it to have any distance from the top, and we want to make sure that it's pretty big and readable, although not bigger than 30 pixels. So I'm going to leave it at 28 for now to make it a little bit smaller. As you can see in the background here, You have this this darker blue text in the back, which I cannot highlight. It's slightly smaller than this regular size text, which is 30 pixels to 28 pixels. Next, we want to have the modal content, which is where all the text goes. We want the background color to be this, which is a nice white gray. This margin auto means that we want it to have we want it to stay in the center of the page, so about 50%. We want to give it a very small border to make it clear and readable, and not too big of a width. So if we look at how this looks now, yes. So if we look at it here, we have a thin border, as you can see, barely. You have a nice white background, and it looks a little bit cleaner. This modal span, remember, if our span tag was this X over here, we want to put it on the right side instead of on the left, so we're going to put this on the right. The color is going to be all A's, which is, let's reload the page, it is a nice gray. It needs to be on the right though, so we'll see that. And then float right, that means it essentially just enforces that we want it on the right side, like this here. Font size 100, we want it to be very big. And font weight bold, it just makes the text a little bit bolder. For this modal H2, because we are centering all the text to the left, we want to make sure that it stays in the center by doing text line center. Modal P, we want to make sure that there is some margin off of the edge, so it doesn't look too cramped to the side. We want to keep a little bit of distance from it, so we'll say margin left 30 pixels. And let's see how it looks. So now we have a really big X over here with a header, some text with good distance across, and lastly, in modal span, hover and focus. What this means is that whenever you're hovering over it, or you're or on phone you're tapping on it, it'll follow under this rules. Color, this color is a nice shade of red. Text decoration none, meaning I don't want any underline, no strike through, no nothing over it. If it's hovering, or if you have a mouse of some sort, we want to change the cursor from this text or this pointer to a clicky, which is called a pointer. This is called a mouse, and it's called text. So if I reload the page, if I hover, you can see it turns a nice shade of red. It does nothing for now, but it will do something later. And if we scroll up a little bit back to modal, we want to set everything in modal to display none. Now, for those of you who know what this does, this might seem a little bit away from our end goal, but it's what we want, because we want the modal to only pop up whenever we hit the specific one that it's correlated to, not whenever it feels right. So if we want to make sure that to begin with all of them are none, and as we want them to turn it on and off. So display none will make sure that there is no presence of it on the screen. So as you can see right now, it is more of a black screen, a little bit opacity or a little bit transparent with a nice modal, but I don't understand, but I can't really read some of this text. So when I reload the page here, it all goes away and it's back to my regular website. Next time we'll be working on tapping a button to open up a modal, and tapping on the X or tapping outside of the modal to close the modal. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.